Mike Moore Media, the first place to hear Rockingham County news and information.
On our media line, Mark McClintock, Rockingham County Tax Administrator. Hey, Mark, and welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's that time of the year. I want you to give us an update on county taxes and where we are and all of that, and how you've made it really easy for us to pay this year.
Well, we've encouraged everyone earlier this year with the crisis and the pandemic with COVID to come in and pay early, and especially this year to pay remotely without contact. We have had some take advantage of this. We have even extended our hours to 6 p.m. We have all week so far, so tonight we will be here to 6 to take payments, and next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday we will be here till 6 to take payments then. And on the 4th and 5th of January, we will be here till 6. It's giving taxpayers 8 additional hours so they can socially distance, and it has been very quiet from 5 to 6. Mm-hmm. Looks like a great time to come in and pay. Mm-hmm. All you do is drive right up in front of the governmental center after 5 into the circle, and we will let you in the building to pay.
Well, you certainly are being extra accessible this time around, and I appreciate that. Okay, let's say we drive in, and there's a process we go through. Take us through that, the parking and everything else, Mark.
Yes, sir. Between 8 and 5, we have we will call it a gatehouse or check-in point where all visitors to the Rockingham County Governmental Center complex stops and they're asked a couple COVID screening questions. Mm-hmm. If someone has been exposed to COVID in the last 14 days, or if they have symptoms or a fever, then we don't want to bring those people into the building. So we ask them a couple screening questions. The gatehouse keeper will then take their cell phone number, if they have one, and if not, we'll write down a description of the car, and we have a special spreadsheet we can all see. The taxpayer would then park if the circle is open right in front of the main doors or in our big visitors parking lot to the right of that. Then we will either come out and get them if they don't have a cell phone. We will call and tell them when it's safe to come in so they can be distanced, or we will send a runner to their car who can bring their payment back in. We can mail them a receipt, or if they need to, they can just use their check for a receipt, or we can even run one back out. We also, in the circle, have a drop box that people can drop their payment in, totally contactless. It's right to the left of the main doors. But we are encouraging people to use the drop box and other methods so that when they come here to the government center and they go through that COVID screening, they have to wait in their cars. They can't just come in and line up in the main lobby anymore because of COVID. It could delay them this year. We usually have a lot of people those last 2 weeks up through January 6th. So we don't want to inconvenience the taxpayer, but we certainly don't want anyone exposed to COVID, and safety is our first priority.
It certainly is, and I appreciate all of the extra work you're doing, the extra hours that your staff is putting in to accommodate us. Thank you very much. Now, are a lot of people using that outside drop box? Are you seeing that as an increase?
Yes, sir. We do see people use the outside drop box. They can do that 24 hours a day. It is a huge stainless steel box. We do not accept cash, of course, in it. It's just for money orders and checks. It is a very secure way that after hours, before hours, or even on the weekend, you can drop your payment. And when we check that box, if you've put it in there, that's the date that's considered paid. So you're not late if you get it in that box before the morning of January the 6th. Mm-hmm. One other option is it's easy to pay online. There is a courtesy fee online, but you don't even have to drive out here. You can maintain the best social distance by staying at home and pay online easily. You can even pay by phone. There's instructions on your bill how to pay by phone. And as always, if you mail your payment in, check or money order, if you mail your payment in, as long as it's postmarked by January the 5th, even if we receive it a few days after that, we use the postmark, so you're not late. So you've got credit card or debit card or e-check online. You can pay by phone, you can use our drop box, or you can mail it in and never have to expose yourself to the possibility of being around a crowd or to the inconvenience of having to wait in your car.
My. You have made it so easy. But we all know people do procrastinate, and that January date comes and goes. People don't get it in on time. They're late. What happens?
After January 6th, and this would be if we receive a payment other than a postmarked payment, a payment that's by mail, we could receive those for a week or two afterwards. Mm-hmm. But for a walk-in, a drop box or credit card payment made after January 6th, 2% interest will go on immediately. And after that, 0.75% interest per month. One thing is we can't forgive that interest. It's a state statute. So even with inconvenience of maybe having to wait, or hopefully very few people are sick, it's important that that payment be here before January the 6th.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All righty. Thank you for all of that, Mark. Let's talk about maybe are there some changes we should know about, some exemptions, some things like that, Mark?
We do. In January through June, you can apply for the elderly or disabled exclusions as exemptions. If your total income of you and your spouse is under $31,500 and you are 65 or older, are permanently and totally disabled, and only one spouse, if people are married, has to qualify, you could apply for an exclusion. Now, you have until June to apply for it, so we always suggest wait just a little bit till after that January 6th rush, and then we would have staff available to help you with that application. You can pick up applications in our lobby when you make a payment, or we will mail you an application so we can be contactless, and you can even download one off our website at myRockinghamCountyNCTax.com. The regular exemptions, which would be like for churches or pollution control or nonprofits, those exemptions have to be applied for in January. But for the elderly and disabled, they can apply through June 1st. And if you're a disabled veteran, 100% disabled due to your service, or the surviving spouse of a 100% disabled veteran who may have passed during their service, you can get $45,000 exclusion, which is $45,000 reduced from the assessed value of your property, and there's no income requirement. So anyone can apply for that if they're a disabled veteran or the surviving spouse. And the surviving spouse can continue to receive that exclusion as long as they live in the property and don't remarry. So these are great exemptions and exclusions. We have all the information on our website. And if you want more information, this week is a good week to call. We'll be really busy the next two, so after January 6th, give us a call. We won't be as pushed, and we can explain them to you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you've done an outstanding job of explaining all of this now. Thank you, Mark. Is there anything else you'd like to mention?
Let's go for one more.
Sure.
In the month of January is when you list your personal property. Dogs and cats, manufactured homes that are not real estate, untagged motor vehicles, or permanently tagged trailers, like a little utility trailer that I have, which is permanently tagged. You have to list it you don't get the automatic renewal or the automatic notice from the state like we do on our cars that we have to renew each year. So in January is when you list your personal property, and if you didn't get a listing form, we have those on our website at myRockinghamCountyNCTax.com that you can download.
Okay. Mark, this is always helpful when we talk. We added a little bit to our home here just recently, and so one of your people came to see me last week, and so I'm getting ready to send you some pictures. If we have some additions and some changes to our property, it's important that we get that taken care of, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It is. That is also something you would list in January during the listing period, unless we have visited your home. Mm-hmm. We do get copies of building permits, and that's how we know to come. And it's very important to list that. If something happens and you've added something to it, listing it with the tax department gives you a third party who knows the improvements you made in case there were any questions, like from insurance or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Mark, thank you very much. Again, I appreciate you and your staff. It's people don't like to talk about paying their taxes, but we've got to do it, and you've made it as easy as possible, it sounds like to me, and I appreciate the extra hours and being so accommodating. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and one thing we want the citizens of Rockingham County to know, their safety is paramount. We have the COVID screening in to protect staff and citizens. We want to keep social distance. We want to wear that mask when we're in the building. We want to protect their health. And it will be inconvenient this year, but I think all of us have had inconvenience due to this pandemic. I just hope we get it behind us soon.
Mm-hmm. I do too. Well, yeah, it's certainly been a year of adjustments for all of us, but you've helped us with that with the Rockingham County Tax Department. Thank you, Mark. Have a wonderful Christmas season, and we'll talk in the new year.
Thank you. I hope you and all your listeners have a safe and healthy holiday season.
All the best, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark McClintock is Rockingham County Tax Administrator. Let me give you that website connection he mentioned, myRockinghamCountyNCTax.com, myRockinghamCountyNCTax.com, or you can call Mark directly. You'll find his contact information on the website. And the regular website is myRockinghamCountyNC.com. Connection there to all of the county departments and lots of good information. And that also reminds me, the Spectrum TV channel for Rockingham County government, 1304, filled with all kinds of good county information 24/7. So if you have Spectrum, you have the Rockingham County TV channel, 1304. And Merry Christmas. All the best to you from Rockingham County government.